guys. So I'm just gonna get this out of the way. I'm super nervous. I've never done anything like this before, but I thought it would be kind of a neat way to add things to my book reviews without adding any spoilers to the review on my blog. Let me get this out of the way. I'm probably gonna sound weird and look weird and make weird faces because I'm not good at this. And when I get nervous, I do weird things. So this is gonna be weird, just so we all know. But what I wanted to talk about today was The God of the Woods by Liz Moore. And if you read my blog, then you know that I really loved this book, except for one thing that really bothered me that turned this book from a 5-star to a 4-star. And that is Alice. I felt like she was shortchanged and she was the scapegoat of everybody in this entire book. You know, her husband, her sister, just her mother was mean to her. And I feel like the author, Liz Moore, also did her dirty. Like, I felt like of anybody, the author could have saved Alice. But she also threw Alice to the wolves. And I felt like she could have come up with a better plot twist, one that didn't treat Alice so harshly. I felt like Alice needed some sort of redemption. And so, just to reiterate, this is a spoiler. So if you don't want to know the big secret behind this book before you read it, no, I'm going to talk about it. Alice is the reason Bear is missing. Alice accidentally killed Bear. And this infuriated me. Alice's whole life was controlled and manipulated by everybody around her. Her sister introduced her to her husband when Alice was very young, and her husband was much older. Her husband, Peter, wanted a biddable wife who maybe wasn't that smart, but was good eye candy and was biddable and wouldn't rock the boat and would do as she was told. And Alice apparently fit that role for him. However, once they were married, he started treating her like crap, frankly. And they had these big parties. Alice was not sure of herself, sort of shy, not that self-confident, didn't think she was very smart, and she didn't like these parties. And so her sister, I think it was her sister, not her husband, told her that for some extra courage and to loosen up before a party, perhaps she should have a drink. So she started having a drink before parties, and by the time Bear came along, who was her joy, the light of her life, all she cared about was her son. Like, she could endure her terrible marriage and all these parties as long as she had Bear. Well, one party, when Bear was like 10, she was drunk and she wanted to take Bear out for a ride in the boat. And everyone at the party knew she was too drunk to take Bear out. So Bear's grandfather told Bear he would take him for a hike and that he would meet him at the trailhead. Well, the grandfather went. Bear never showed up. And he realized that Bear was going off to meet his mother instead. That's the kind of kid Bear was. He loved his mom. He wanted to be with her. And he didn't want to let her down. So he met her, even though she was too drunk. He didn't know that, though. So, of course, the inevitable happens. And I totally mispronounced that, but we're just going with it. And Bear dies. There's this huge cover-up. Alice doesn't even really realize what happened. I think she sort of does deep down, but they also start her on prescription pills, and she's like out of it for the rest of the book. She's always drunk or high. And even though she has another child, Barbara, who she's not a great mother to, her her life ended when Bear's did. When Bear disappeared, or however she thought of it. I was so upset about this. I really did feel like the author had a chance to change things for Alice. I feel like this book was about mothers, like good mothers and bad mothers and neglectful mothers and overprotective mothers and stand-in mothers. There were all sorts of women acting as mothers. There were lots of men in this book who were rich and privileged and took advantage of women. I mean, even Alice's mother-in-law was like a voiceless wife. No one knew much about her. She kind of kept to herself. She didn't seem to have many opinions. It was kind of like Alice's future. Looking at her was like looking at Alice's future. And I feel like the plot twist wasn't right. Like, I don't know any other way to say it. This was just it. Like, I don't have any deep reasoning behind it, I guess. I just feel like it could have been better. It could have been any other thing. I feel like the author also scapegoated Alice and used her. And this was her own character, her own creation, someone she made up. Maybe the author didn't like Alice very much either. But that's where we're at. And if you have any comments, like, I would love to hear them. Like, what were your thoughts on this? What were your thoughts on Alice being behind Bear's disappearance? I mean, I'm not even going to talk about Barbara and what happened with Barbara. I felt like that end was okay. It was a little strange, but I don't know. I guess it was better than what happened with Bear. So I would love to hear what you thought. Also, I think I might do this more, and I hope I get better at it. So I hope you can bear with me and hang in there. I might post more unlisted or private videos. So look for them on my channel, especially private, I guess. If I share the link, maybe unlisted. I'm not sure yet. I don't know how that works exactly, but I'm going to look. I might do that about Wyatt's surgery recovery updates. It'd be easier than sitting down and typing it all out, I think. So let's see how I'm professional. There's noises going on all around me, and I'm just gonna roll with this. I'm not a professional YouTuber or anything, just talking to you guys. So anyways, I'm gonna leave it at that because I am starting to ramble. And I'll talk to you guys later. Love to hear what you think. Okay, bye-bye.